easier to get to Bombay than to get from Taj Santa Cruz. I should keep more time. It's rush hour time. I should have figured out more time. I don't have much to say. I'm here to welcome Ms. Bilkis Naqvi and Mr. Abdullah Majumdar and Ashish and the PW people community. I just want to say that I was attentive for most part. For some part, I was on text with my son who's 18-year-old and he was giving me some orders. This is passing down from my wife. About my daughter who's in fourth year of college in the US. But I just want to say, my name is Batra and my kids call me Potra. This is much before AI. Because I would send them emails of everything. I'm like, so I just want to say, so I don't know whether I'm a bot or not, but my kids do call me either bro or Potra, right? And it's okay, it's a tech term. But I was thinking about some of the things, and I remember doing IIT Ghaziabad invited me to do a session with Mohan Sani from Kellogg 2 years back in February, exactly 2 years back. And I said I must get our organization to use AI tools, and we haven't got where we should be. That's what I was thinking. Second is, I have a colleague called Ved, and we said we must do immersion, your business world. So let's do programs for everyone on appreciating AI. And we started some, but long way to go. So I was thinking about how we should implement what you are saying. Those were the thoughts going in my mind. I can only tell you I was in a business school 30 years back, and I was telling somebody yesterday, very, very important, very young man on 14th Feb, he'll be 81. His name is Sir Martin Sorrell. He was at our advertising conference. Day after tomorrow is his 81st birthday. And he said to me something which is the philosophy of my life. And, I asked him, I've seen him from the day I started Exchange from India. In the last 15 years, I can say, I know him really well. He can pronounce my name properly. Because the Annurag, this is very close to my real name. And he said, because I'm thinking about learning and development, and he said, I'm a very curious person. I find new things to learn every day. He's about to be 81 day after. He's built 3 large companies, building his 3rd large company, S4. So, and he said to me, which I paraphrase, he said it in his own way, but I said, I see you still going at things like you used to do 25 years back, Sir Martin. And he said to me, Anurag, it's not work for me. I enjoy what I do. And Confucius said, if you make your hobby your profession, you don't have to work. But AI, like life, is about the right prompts. In fact, I thought of a podcast 2 years back, never did it, called The Prompt. I'm starting it on Friday. I have Jagdish Mitra as my first guest on Friday, and on Saturday I'm shooting with CP Gurnani and a series of international leaders. So I can only say learning and development is about the culture of the organization, and you covered almost everything. But the most important thing is that you don't, using a tool should not be a bad thing. And the reason you said what you said is because in a lot of organizations, AI was being used by individuals, but they were not declaring it. You wouldn't, I could have walked from Taj Santa Cruz, I would have reached in afternoon, or maybe earlier, who knows, right? But I took a cab, okay? I could have come by car or bike from Delhi to Bombay, but I used a tool called the aircraft, okay? I use email for communication. It's a tool. It's about the questions you ask, but it is also about the LLMs that you train on your own data. That's where it gives you the right. Yesterday, Keshav Bhajanka of Sense Reply was at the Exchange from India conference, and he was talking about the use of AI. And he said that if we advertise for a job, 600 resumes come, we look for, AI tells us it's 10 minutes or 5 minutes, a couple of minutes, who's closest to the headquarters. It's a local job. So, it may sound like a small thing. Like, I spend 10, 15 minutes on any CV that I get. I try to see where have they worked, how many years, what is the continuity of work, what is the quality of work, what are they saying about impact. Now, if I had an AI tool that could just sum it up and give it to me, and my HR colleagues do sum up stuff and give it to me. So AI is in some way doing that, and it's just getting better. I can only say that singularity was promised in 2034. Looks like it will happen in the next 2-3 years. Definitely in the next 5 years. And what is scary And last week, the Anthropic head of research for ethics and regulation in Indian guy resigned, saying the guardrails are too, not being followed, and it's too dangerous territory. And really, the way AI is progressing, the hallucination will end, the slurs will end, it will become more and more real. And the worry is we should not lose human touch while we use AI. Because at the end of the day, the more we use technology and AI, the role of empathy and the role of, face to face. We could have done this on Zoom or whatever video technology. We are doing this in a room full of, some of you have traveled from other cities. I have traveled from Delhi. Bilkis, Abdullah, Ashish, Savvy, they've all traveled from Delhi. So I can just say that of course, usage of AI, agentic tools, is growing. But I can also say, as I said, I was in a business school 30 years back. I went to MDI, first batch of MBA from MDI. That's how people like me got in. And then I went on to the board, the first administrator in the board of MDI, but also till last year the chairman of alumni for 17, 18 years. I can only tell you, I was telling Sir Martin that I think I understand life a little better now. I understand business a little better now. I understand the rules of the world better now. And I'm being very real. I really feel that I have, in the last 1-2 years, understood, things. Till now, I was just, by God's grace, I was growing. So I think AI is here to stay. The agentic tools that we are only going to grow, the autopilots are only going to grow. And as organizations have an AI strategy, like you have a retention strategy, like you have a L&D strategy, you'll have to have an AI strategy, which will then kind of cohesively work with every function. In manufacturing, I was with another business leader yesterday, and he was telling me that they had a manufacturing issue. And through the use of AI technology, because they had trained their agents on all the data, they had given access for the last 3 years, they could solve that problem in less than a day and much better than a human being could have solved, and at much lesser cost and more precise. Now, as I said, the more AI and technology grows, I think the need for some basic things in organization grows even more. I think there's more need to do sessions which really help people communicate more mindfully, because we are communicating, but we're always busy. We're always looking at a screen, right? Me included, I'm not no different. Second is, there is work-life balance. In entrepreneurship, it may be missing sometimes, but mostly work-life balance is important. And the ability to switch off. These days, we're not switching off. We're always working. And the quality of sleep, suffers. I think one of the most important things that you're talking about is the fact that we're a sleep-deprived country. We're a sleep-deprived workforce. And the fact that, there are, I love OTT platforms. I love watching movies. There's a value to quick commerce companies. But the fact that you can binge watch whole night does have an impact. And it is proven that supply creates demand. So if you have availability, you will go for it. So I think the quality of sleep is the most important thing that I'd like to talk about. I hope all of you sleep more than 8 hours in the night, because most Indians sleep 5.5 hours, 6 hours, which is not the right sleep. I mean, quality sleep is another issue. I also want to say that I think it's a unique time. Elon Musk is going to do whether you like him, not like him, he has created impact. He's going to do an IPO which is $1.5 trillion IPO. How much? It was unthinkable. Whatever, again, you may like Donald Trump or not like Donald Trump, but day before yesterday, he said in an interview that the American economy will grow at 15%. I mean, it's growing at 5%. It grew at 5%, which is huge for the base. It's a $29 trillion economy. So 5% on that is huge, right? 28 plus. So clearly the world is doing well. There are exceptional times. If you look at the S&P 500, the companies are doing so well that they have very little time for introspection. Introspection mostly happens when you don't do well. I keep saying when you succeed, you don't think too much. and that doesn't prepare you for the next thing. But if you fail at a project, I think you introspect much more and you're much more successful. That's what I believe, though I believe my favorite author, Randy Pausch, that there's nothing called failure. Everything is an experience. Experience is what you get when you don't get what you want. So the person never fails, the idea project fails. I want to end by saying that one of my favorite songs is a UB40 song called Higher Ground. I don't know if has anybody heard that. I'm not going to sing that. I only sing when there are 1,000 people that show up for a 500 people conference. They're back to 500. But I'm not. Has anybody heard this song? You must have heard Red Red Wine and Can't Help Falling in Love. But this is a little lesser popular song of UB40. You know why UB40 is called UB40? Any quizzers in the room?
Unemployed Bureau number 40.
Huh?
Unemployed Bureau number 40.
Very good. You're a quizzer. Yeah. It's a dole form in UK. All the three band members were unemployed, so they call themselves UB40. I know Abdullah is a budding singer. Last 15 years he's trying. So they have a song called Higher Ground, and I won't sing it, and you can see, get its lyrics. But basically, it says, "The more I know, the less I know." It's called, goes on. And the beauty is that we need to know first principles right, basics right, but the tools make our life better. And as somebody said over the last few years, there will be two kinds of knowledge workers: the workers that use AI and the workers that don't use AI well. So the ones that use AI will do much better. Business in India is growing, companies are growing. It's a really fascinating time. And the next 5-6 years in India, the next decade is going to be super exhilarating in spite of all the unique things about India. I mean, we are more affluent today, but is the quality of our lives in urban cities better? I'm not sure. So, those are issues. We are too busy in our day jobs sometimes to focus on that. But I'd say that AI is about the right prompts, it's about the right questions. The more we use it, the better we get. And it's a simple basic rule. And I would say the more life changes, the more it stays same. The tools may come, tools may go, but the first principles stay the same. I want to end by saying that I read a book about 14 months back, early last year. I think I read it in Jan first week, and I've gifted a lot of it. Today you have very good books. You couldn't find that. It's called Fluke. It's written by a guy called Brian Klaus. He's a social scientist. And how many of you feel you are successful? You're very successful. Good. You lost fair shop for that. And so have I. But I know it's very senior folks. How many of you, only one successful person will guess? What about the others? But senior folks get very. How many of you feel you're successful? A lot of you. You are. Okay. And why do you think so you're successful? The remainder is okay. Good. So the book basically says that human beings give themselves too much credit for their success. And he says everything is a fluke. Fluke in Urdu means tukka, in Hindi you can say prarabt, in English you can say preordainment, serendipity, luck, chance. And I read the book, I won't give you the stories in the book, but I'd say that whatever little I've achieved is because of my parents' good karma, or my grandparents. I think that's something I deeply believe in. It's not about how hard I work. I really believe the sukarma of my parents definitely will have seen them over a long period of time, my grandparents, and my forefathers, and in your case also. Of course, we work hard. The harder you work, the luckier you get. But I genuinely believe that in organizations also, we place too much emphasis on individual achievement. I know we want to build teams and all. In fact, the only issue I see in organizations is individual achievement is getting bigger and bigger in the era of social media. So I think that's one thing we need to watch out for. I wish you luck. The latest issue of BW People is there. Tanvi told me to cue that up. The latest issue of Businessworld, which came out a couple of days back immediately after the budget, decodes the budget. The latest issue of BW People is there. So, in an era of digital the lean-in experience of reading a magazine is still there. We have a long way. As I keep saying, as long as you keep walking, you'll get somewhere. Enjoy your day. I wish you a day of learnings, a way of connectivity, and a day where you're able to bring back, take back some relationships, professional relationships that you can leverage, and some insights that reiterate what you know and maybe give you some new ideas that you can implement. Thank you. God bless you.